Oh, you gotta be joking.
Oh, yeah. Rory McIlroy defends his title at the RBC Canadian Open.
Defending a title for the first time at the RBC Canadian Open was a big deal to me. I think the reason that I've excelled in Canada over the last few years is the atmosphere and the crowds and the people that you play in front of.
I want to give you something.
Thank you.
And yeah, just open it up.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. So you've got the trophy there, back to back, 2022, 2019. You've got the total scores on the inside. That is really, really cool. To be the first one to maybe win it 3 times would be extra special.
Boys, how are we doing? Big week, RBC Canadian Open. Let's just dive in. Oakdale Golf and Country Club, front 9, super hard. Long par 4s, long par 5s, really going to be tough to score on these par 5s early. Back 9 is almost the dead opposite. A couple short par 4s, some really reachable par 5s. Tree line fairways, 80% bent grass. It's the first event here. Only similar comparison would be St. George's in Toronto, where this event is normally played. 20 under seems to be a consensus this week as like a birdie fest. Corey Connors' caddy did mention that the course seems a little bit harder than most are predicting. So we'll see what happens with that. Past winners, Rory, DJ, Johnny Vegas. You see the scores, 19, 22, 23, 21. These guys go low here. These style courses are not very difficult, and they are known as that birdie fest style. It is the Canadian Open. The Canadians normally do very, very well here. Corey Connors, 22-1. Adam Hadwin, 45-1. Adam Svensson, 55-1. Nick Taylor, 60-1. Mackenzie Hughes, 60-1. And Taylor Pendrith, 75-1. I'll get into those guys later. Some betting splits. These are from MGM. So just take these with a grain of salt, I guess. Just kind of see, who's everyone on. I put a few errors here. Tigala. Looks like he's getting absolutely nuked. He was in the news a lot this week about his game. People are expecting him to play well. I don't see it this week, especially when he's the top bet guy this week, Corey Connors looks like the consensus top Canadian bet. No surprise there with how well he played 2 weeks ago, but missed the cut and was horrible last week. We'll see where his game is this week. And at the bottom, Matt Kuchar, I think, could be a very sneaky pick this week. I'll get into him a little bit later. Keys this week. Each week I pick 3-4 things that I'm basically targeting every week based on how the course plays and how previous winners have racked up in some of these categories and just based off of next year's results. So this week I'm looking at strokes gained approach. Driving accuracy. These fairways are tree lines. Need to hit fairways this week. And you can go very, very low. Strokes gained putting. If you can gain strokes around the green, this will be a birdie fest for you. And birdie better percentage is something I absolutely love this week. Okay? Some guys I have highlighted here. Each of those 4 things I kind of talked about, these are their ranks so far this season. I highlighted in red some of the key ones, I think. Look at Justin Rose there. Top 30 in 3 of the 4 and top 40 in 4 of the 4. Things I'm looking for this week. I'll get into him a little bit later, but that is definitely something to keep an eye on. Corey Connors. Not loving his short game right now. Not hitting a ton of fairways. Do I love him this week? Not really, especially with him being a very popular Canadian bet this week. Rory. Strokes gained approach. One of the best in the game. 185th in driving percentage so far this season. Not hitting a ton of fairways. Strokes gained around the green. Putting, not good. And we saw it happen last week. I mean, he was just missing putt after putt after putt. I'm going to pass on Rory this week. Shane Lowry, top 20 in strokes gained approach and driving percentage. That's something that I would love to have. Around the green, not so good. Cam Young, definitely struggled so far. a lot recently. But that far right column, birdie or better, top 5 in all of the field. Mackenzie Hughes, nothing special. And Matt Kuchar there can just consistently score when he wants to. All right, Cam Young, one of the favorites nearly every week, right? His last few events, cut, tied 59th, tied 51st, T7 at the Masters, T51. Not a good showing, considering he's been a favorite almost every single week, right? Not good. Every week, there's a PGA site. It's like the PGA experts, and they pick their top 6 guys every week. This week, there's like 8 of them experts, and he's not in a single one of their picks. Interesting. I just thought that was very, very interesting for, what is he, the 3rd or 4th favorite this week? Granted, he's looked horrible, right? Last time Cam Young missed 2 back-to-back cuts. His next 2 events, he finished 2nd and 2nd. Driving percentage, obviously, as we just saw, is not there, but top 5 in birdie percentage at a course that we will see a lot of. I think this is the week when no one thinks it is that Cam Young gets it done. Shane Lowry, 22-1, top 20 in driving and approach. If the putts fall, it's his week. If they don't fall, it's not his week. He's going to give himself chances on every single hole. It's just, are the putts going to go in? If they do, he probably wins this whole thing. Last 3 times out at the Canadian Open, T10, T2, T12. I mean, he loves this style of golf, has played well here. I like Shane this week, even though I do hate betting on him. Justin Rose, 18-1. As you guys saw, he was basically greened out in everything I look for. Top 30 in 3 of the 4, top 40 in 4 of the 4. Accurate driver, can score around the green. It's a pretty no-brainer play for me. I have to do this. Only issue I've seen is a lot of Twitter does like him this week. Don't love that, right? T4 last year, but I have to play him this week, I believe. Who's the Canadian this week? It's not Corey Connors. It's not Svensson. I believe it's Adam Hadwin. Mr. Canada here. A lot of talk on which Canadian has the chance this week between Connors and Svensson. It seems like everyone's forgetting someone. He's going to hit fairways. He's going to gain strokes around the green. Where do you see him show out? He very rarely has these huge performances and then these terrible letdowns. These short courses where people go very, very low. That's what we got this week. Also higher odds than Svensson, but no one's really talking about him. Definitely see that a little bit. Very interesting. I was shocked to see his odds above Svensson. Last 2 times out, T35 and 6th place. I like Adam Hadwin this week. Give me Adam Hadwin. Guys I'm worried about. Guys I want to take, but I just don't see the value. I don't see them getting it done, but if they do, I will be so pissed off. Rory. It's his event, obviously, off the collapse last week. You think maybe he comes out and just shuts everyone up and wins by 5 strokes. I think there's been a little too much drama this week with him. We saw what happened with him around the greens. It's not there for me, especially at 5-1. I'm going to have to pass on Rory. Mackenzie Hughes. He's the only other Canadian I think that could really give it a run this week. He plays very well in these events. I just don't see it, but I would be very, very pissed if he does win. Matt Kuchar. We talked about earlier, normally gets way lower odds at events like this when people can go very, very low because he can go low very quickly. But he's at 40-1. And I don't know if that's a trap or if that is, or he's just going to throw up a stinker. Either way, I just can't touch him, but I feel like he could crush me this week. And Aaron Rai, gut feeling, but there's probably not a chance he wins. But, tad worried. Okay, those are the 4 guys I'm worried about. The full card this week. Cam Young, 14-1 for a half unit. Justin Rose, 18-1 for a half unit. Shane Lowry, 22-1 for a half unit. And Adam Hadwin, 50-1 for a quarter of a unit. That's what I'm rolling with this week, boys. Let me go if you have any questions. My DMs are always, always open. The value of routine, trusting your swing. We've done this 3 times so far this year. Should have been 4. Very easily could have been 5 already this year. Let's go get our 4th guy.